Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, welcome back into the locker room here on a Tuesday afternoon from the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street. I'm Jake Bakoven alongside Chancellor Brewington today in studio, your host for the show. We'll see if we can catch up to Mikey Daniel a little bit later in the week. But Chancellor, you're in for the full show. What do we got going on today?
Man, we got a good show. We got a good show lined up. I hope everyone out there is having a great day, a great Tuesday afternoon. Hope you had a good morning. And I hope you have a good evening as well. This is the locker room where we provide a player's perspective of what's going on. And we got to talk about this transfer portal stuff, but we got to talk about the depth going into the bowl game. We got the bowl game, I believe, I think it's the 26th, I believe. December 26th? 28th. December 28th. So, we got that stuff lined up. But we got to get ready for the game, of course. And we got to look at this depth chart. And kind of see, the pieces, and maybe the bowl game is, the perfect opportunity in my eyes for a young guy to get in there and shine. Guys that's going to be here, guys that's going to stay. And as we go through the depth chart, I also want to highlight some guys that we need to retain. Just to be honest, we need to retain. We need to make sure that they stay because they're going to have options to leave. And maybe it would make sense for some of these guys to leave. And for some of them, you would hope that they stay. But just overall, looking at who's out right now, starting with the coaches, and this tweet comes from Black Shirt, spelled with a V, on Twitter. It does a phenomenal job. It was actually sent to me by Jeremy Peters. He was watching the show yesterday, so shout out to him. If you're watching, we appreciate you. Out for the coaching staff, of course, Garrett McGuire, Tony White, and Terrence Knighton, right? And so the defense coordinator job is still up in the air. Some people have some hunches on where a rule might go with that. But kind of being that defensive mind that he is, he also has an offensive mind too, but coach both sides of the ball. I think, you're going to have to bring in a heavy hitter, and play really good defense. But receiver, Malachi Coleman, first guy to leave. Jamari Butler, that was a big one. And then Vincent Jackson, Mekhi Bayer, that one was surprising. Stephon Thompson, that one kind of made sense. I know the captain has said what they've said about. I've watched some of those clips. Yeah. But Gabe Irvin, that one kind of made sense. You understood it. You appreciate him for his time, and you appreciate all these guys for their time here. Danny Kalen, that one made sense. He leaves. Why? Because Dylan Riley slayed the starter, and unless he goes down by injury, there's probably no shot of Kalen, beating him out for the number one job. And then you got Prince Will, and we talked about yesterday, Prince Will right now is the number one DN in the transfer portal, or edge rusher in the transfer portal. And, you see what his brother is doing at Ole Miss and what he did at Florida, going to be a first-round draft pick. Like, his ceiling is so high. His potential is so high, freshman All-American. But this year two just didn't get it done. I don't know if that was player development, if it was scheme. Maybe he's a little bit better in like a 4-3 where he's on the field all the time, not having to I think he's a real edge rusher. I think he's an edge rusher that can be in on third down, but he can also play the run a little bit. We also talked to James Williams. He's another DN. He's getting recruited from pretty much every big school you could think of, and that rightfully so. If you look at the amount of snaps he was in on compared to the sacks he had. I know some people were like, he only had 5 sacks, or he only had 7.5 sacks while he was here. If you look at the snap amount and you look at the percentages there, you're like, wow, this dude is elite pass rusher. And then obviously Kai Wallen. And those are all, I mean, those two at least are part of the traditional D-line room principles, kind of in that limbo of like a hybrid linebacker slash DN, kind of that edge rusher. But I would anticipate him kind of going to a 3-4 defense, right, where he can kind of be that edge rusher and also, drop into cover sometimes as well. And then you got Devon Hall, Mason Jones, Dwight Boodle. That was new. Brody Tagovailoa, Noah Buster, Gage Warger, Riker Evans. And then we had Kanoa Davis. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Keona Davis.
Keona Davis. And that one probably is an FSU guy. That one's probably an FSU guy. So now looking at the depth, I want y'all to take a look at this. Well, y'all can't see this. But we don't got much to work with on defense. And I think the guys that we need to stay, I'm just going to say it. We need Vincent Savers to stay. We need Willis McGahee to stay. And I think those two will. If I'm correct, Vincent Savers Jr. put out a tweet. He says, Miami boys stick together. That's kind of hinting at the outside linebacker coach. Bot, do you know his name?
Phil Simpson, the new outside linebacker.
Yep, and he's a Florida recruiter, and we got Ja'Cory Barney from Florida too. So maybe alluding to the 305 connection. Those boys staying together. I love it. But you need Vincent Savers, you need McGahee to stay because those are some building blocks that you can build on. And then Zaire Wright. Zaire Wright's an interesting one. Is he gonna stay? What's he thinking there? I've been overly impressed by his play. I mean, overly impressed. I was a little hesitant going into it, like, the Big Ten receivers. You play against Purdue and you play against Indiana. Like, these are some big guys. Illinois got some bigger guys than the Pac-12 usually. I don't know how he's gonna size up. A smaller guy. They got him on the roster at 6 foot 180. That might be a stretch though. I would say probably around like the 5'9", 5'10", probably like 175, 180. But he's done a great job filling in for Tommy Hill. That whole situation was unfortunate. He's doing a great job. You got Bly Hill. Haven't seen his name. Not really sure where what that deal is. Maybe he just needs a little bit to get acclimated. Big Ten football is a little different. And then you got Marquise Buford and Mario Buford. I think those guys are slotted in. I think if one guy goes, they both go. Obviously being brothers. Kobe Brett's backing up Giff. And then Malcolm Harzog. I think that's a guy you need to stay to. You look at this roster. There's not a bunch of seniors coming back. I mean, not a bunch of juniors coming back. It's a really young team. And even with you look at offensively, it's a really young team as well. To start off, Ben Scott leaving. And I would assume line wise, they get a bunch of guys. I mean, in the portal. I mean, you got to kind of make up for where you're lacking. And especially in the air raid, you want to go and get some guys. Fedoni, that's a guy where maybe after the bowl game we might see a departure. Jalen Lloyd. I mean, you got to. Do you throw? Like, is he a guy you throw money at? Is this a guy you throw opportunities at? Like, how does Holgrenson feel about him? And then obviously you got Dante Dowdell and Emmett Johnson coming back. So in the running back room, pretty sound there. Bach, what are your overall thoughts on depth chart going into the bowl game, all that good stuff?
Yeah, well, I think it's particularly intriguing with the front seven, as would not be a surprise for those that have followed along with the transfer portal action on Nebraska's side this far. If you look at it, you look at the guys on offense, I don't think they really take a hit. I mean, they did, Gabe Ervin, Daniel Kalen, Davon Hall, Malachi Coleman. These aren't names of guys that contributed on the year, in a big fashion. Gabe Ervin got a few carries early on, but and you never know in a bowl game. You don't have to worry about the red shirt. Maybe they would have played Malachi or whatever if you're projecting that far out. But my point is, none of those guys really big time contributors as far as in the rotation. It's complete opposite in on the defense. But again, I think we can get to we could just kind of throw that blanket statement out there. It's really the front seven, the cornerbacks. There's nobody necessarily in that defensive back group that's hit the portal that you think, oh no, as far as contributors go, Dwight Boodle is the name that was out there. But when you really look at it, guys that contributed that aren't going to be there for the bowl game, Jamari Butler, Princewell Umanmielen, James Williams, Keanu Davis, and Vincent Jackson got snaps. Of course, Mekhi Bayer, Stephon Thompson. So you're talking about a lot of front seven guys. So that's where I think you're going to have to see, some maybe even get creativity in there and see. You might have to have some guys playing a little bit out of position. And then obviously that's even more so the case and a bigger kind of hurdle for them to adjust to this offseason is because it's one thing for the bowl game. It's another thing for next season. Obviously in the bowl game, you still have Ty, you still have Nash. You can still play some of those guys up there. But other than that, I mean, you're thinking about the front line there. Elijah Judy, Cam Linhart are guys that can throw in there. At linebacker, you'd think, Javin Wright, MJ Sherman, and Willis McGahee, obviously for the Jack. But John Bullock will be back, Vincent Shavers. So I think you've got enough bodies still. It just might not be able to sub as much as they like to with Tony White's defense.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So Tony White's not coaching the bowl game.
No,
of course.
John Butler is the interim DC.
Okay, so you could assume same scheme. You could assume some same calls. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like I say, it's gonna be opportunity to get these young guys in there. And like you said, not a bunch of rotations. I mean, you look at a guy like Nash and Ty, like those guys don't really. I mean, Van Poppel, of course, but even like the DN, like Cameron Linhart, like he's going to have to play like most of these snaps. MJ Sherman's going to have to play most of these snaps. Not a bunch of. But this is a great opportunity, and if you're a guy like Cameron Linhart, I think this is a opportunity to say, hey, like, y'all didn't play me this year for whatever reason. Maybe it's because you thought, Jamari or all these guys in front of me were better, but I get to show who I am. And I believe especially Cameron Linhart, but also like like a Van Poppel, getting in there for the bowl game. And also I'm gonna say this too. This team is gonna look. This is probably going to be the craziest roster change Nebraska's ever had in the offseason. I mean, you're going to add 20 guys. 20 guys of I believe, polished football. And this roster is going to be completely different. You talk about like Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nair, already becoming like, these names that we already throw around here. Like, we're going to have to learn a whole new roster next year, Buck. A whole new roster.
Yeah, it's crazy. In college basketball, again, I go back to this. College basketball is like that. Nebraska basketball, their veterans are guys that transferred in,
right.
And Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary. So, it is crazy. I think Nebraska basketball fans, anyways, are used to that. But I think you're going to start to have to do a little bit more of that in football. Obviously, there's a lot more names, a lot more spots to be taken. And so, a lot of more possibility for a lot of new names. But not just saying, this group over here, but just like you said, kind of more of a, even to the points of like team identity and especially on defense. I mean, they could have had, we'll see what they do in the portal, but you could certainly have a different identity next year as a defense than you would have if you returned, some of these guys that are particularly good at pass rushing in the portal. Guys like James Williams and Princewell, who are top names at the edge position. Are you going to be able to get those guys? Do you kind of change your whole game plan around that? And certainly you do. If you can put 4 guys on the defensive line, I know it's a 3-3-5, but they shift guys out there and change up the lineups. If you can get there with 4, that gives you a whole lot more flexibility with what you can do on the back end than if you just don't have the personnel for it. So I know they're going to go after some of those guys, but again, right now, as it is currently constructed, it's going to be hard to upgrade at the edge position, at the pass rushing position as far as that ability, just because some of the top guys in the portal are your own guys.
Yeah, I think about when I was playing, we had going into the 2022 year, I believe the 2 big names was Trey Palmer and O'Shawn. And then I'm trying to think of anyone else who transferred in receiver wise. I don't think there was anyone else. DBs had a couple, but I mean, that you had like 2 real transfers, right? And then you kind of look, the next year, not a bunch. You had a couple like DBs here, a couple receivers, Billy Kemp, the Josh Fleeks, like you had those type of guys, and Jeff Sims, of course. Oh, Casey Thompson. My bad.
Oh yeah.
Casey Thompson transferred in as well. But like when you really look at like how it's moving, and then the next year going into this year, 2020 was 24. Yeah, Isaiah Nayer, Jamal Banks, like all these different guys. And then now the young guys come in and they're having an effect in the game as well. But like this year coming up, this is going to be like the Indiana roster. Like 20 guys get signed in February and come over, or going into January. Like these guys, the recruiters. I mean, these recruiters at Nebraska have to get paid like triple. Like they got to get some type of extension. I'm going to bat for y'all. Y'all got to get some type of bonus because y'all got to bring in some real heavy hitters. And I think now we talked about this, but like now it's not really about. And I heard Frost say this. We'll get to this on the next segment about retaining guys each year and stuff like that, and building a culture. In his UCF presser, I believe it was like 3 or 4 days ago. But now it's a time where like you got to get some really, really good recruiters, guys that have ties to the places that you want to recruit. So when you bring in this new defensive staff, if that's what you want to do, and you bring in this new offensive staff, if that's what you want to do, I think you gotta first look at like, okay, where are these guys recruit? Like where are these guys recruit heavy? We talk about a guy like when I was at Nebraska, Coach Fish, the DB coach, he's from Florida. He has all the Florida connects. Right, any Florida guy, he's a skill player from Florida. You can send Coach Fish to their door, and he gonna get him. You send Coach Beckton to Atlanta or any part of Georgia, he's gonna get him. Right, so like you send Frost to anywhere in Nebraska, you know what I'm saying. So like you have to build. I feel like you have to build this staff. Like I want guys here, I want guys here, I want guys here, and I need to get some type of connect there. And with this the coaches limit, like it's kind of been raised. You can kind of have some more people around the facility. I know we got in trouble for that a couple, whatever. But I mean, it wouldn't be smart to get some like, I don't know, some consulting guys and recruiting.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's what's interesting, and I don't want to belittle Phil Simpson as resume as far as like, but he just doesn't have as much as far as like been a linebacker coach for the last 2 decades or something like that. He's more kind of moving up. We saw him in with his kind of support staff role with Nebraska this past year. Similar thing at Florida State, and again, so I don't know how much of his connection is going to be that he's just a great outside linebackers coach, and maybe he is. Sometimes it's not about your experience; it's just about the opportunity that you need and you can take off. But he from the outside, just looking at his resume, looks more like a guy that can go into Florida, has coached Cortez Mills in high school, so he kind of got connections there, and has done a great job in helping Nebraska get their hand in Florida. And they said, let's bring that guy back, because that is one thing that has worked for Nebraska over the last couple of years, like you mentioned earlier in the segment with the Vincent Shavers and the Ja'Cory Barneys, McGahees, all that.
And then you put him at a position where it's not, it's outside linebacker. So in this defense, that's really like the jack. So he's coaching the jack. So it's not really like he has to coach. He's not a DB's coach where he's coaching, or a linebackers coach where he's coaching 20 guys, right? In the jack position, you probably have you probably have 6 or 7 guys in your whatever, and 4 of them don't play, 2 of them redshirt, and then you got like a real 2 or 3 guys you have to coach. So it's not like the task isn't too large. No disrespect, of course, but I think that's kind of the mode of college football now. You bring in a guy who can recruit really good. You put him at a lax position. You let him coach fullbacks or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but that's my opinion.
Well, that's what interested me over the years too, because I always thought a special teams coach was like a guy that was like very into precisely how to kick the ball or something like that. And then you kind of realize most of those guys are that's just kind of a spot you put somebody that's on the way up.
Right. And you can learn that. Yeah. You can learn that. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break here on the Locker Room. We'll be back with more on 93.7 The Ticket.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited, all built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of December. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft on end-of-the-year specials store-wide at their new 27th and I-80 location.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back in the locker room here on a Tuesday with Chancellor Brewington, and we'll get back to him and more football talk here in a second. But we do have a few giveaways to keep in mind here. So I'm gonna give away some Stars tickets. We have the Stars playing the Sioux City Musketeers on $2 nights. So it looks like you can get a lot of deals at the concession tables if you do get these tickets. December 12th is Thursday night, so keep that in mind. Do not respond if you can't go, and do not want to get Stars tickets here. Can't go Thursday night, but we have tickets available, a pack of 5 for the first person that can text in the correct answer to my question here, which is that a little bit to bring the bowl game into it a little bit, is that ACC Defensive Player of the Year Donovan Ezeraku is going to be playing for Boston College, or at least I expect him to be. We'll see, but who sits out for bowl games. He had 16 and a half sacks this year for Boston College. That would be the record at Nebraska. My question is, the 15 sacks is the record at Nebraska. Who got that in one single season? There's 2 players actually, so you can name either one of them. Again, that for Stars tickets to be given away for Thursday night, a 5-pack. So if you know the answer, text it in 402-464-5685. The other thing we've got going on here as far as giveaways, it is the giving season, and Beatrice Bakery holiday giveaway. We're bringing that back this year. Tune into your favorite 93.7 and Ticket the Show all holiday season long. Nominate people or organizations that you believe are in need of some delicious cakes, courtesy of Beatrice Bakery, from Grandma's Fruitcake, Chocolate Rum, Strawberry Daiquiri, and much more. Beatrice Bakery in 93.7 The Ticket. Want to give the world of yum to the most deserving people? Send us a text with a person you are nominating and a few sentences saying why to our Starter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685, or email info@theticketfm.com. And so far, we've got plenty of guesses here of Sue, Jared Crick, Grant Wistrom. None of those guys amassed 15 sacks at Nebraska, but you're on the right path. So getting close.
Getting close. I love it, man. If you have the opportunity to go to the Stars game, go. I mean, I went out there. I can't remember, Bach. It was probably 2 months ago, and it was my second time out there. I did a puck drop before. Then the second time, I went with some friends, and I seen 2 fights.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome, bro. It was awesome. The goalie, I was understanding hockey. The fans were teaching me it's a great time if you're a hockey fan, or if you're not. I'm not really a hockey fan, but now I am.
Yeah,
after a Stars game.
Yeah, it is fun. You get to cheer against the opponents. The Stars fans let them have it, and like you said, it's just a loud, excitable atmosphere. And a lot of space to walk around and get some brewskis here there too if you want to.
No, for sure. News yesterday, I believe, after the show, Raiola put some on his Instagram and said, basically alluding to the fact that he is staying. He's all in, GBR, right? Yeah. And, it's those subtle things. We talked about Vincent Shaver saying that. That's big. That's big for Nebraska. That's big for this coaching staff. That's big for Rule. That's big for the fans. Because if he were to just flirt with the idea, now there's some pieces, that's a crumbling piece. That's your most important piece in Nebraska. I mean, he's one of the more influential people in the state. I'm just gonna be real with you. That's what it is. And yeah, it's a great get to stay with him. I think the question now is like, where does Raiola need to jump in his play, from year 1 to year 2? Because I think maybe the expectations for myself for him were maybe I didn't anticipate the lack of receiver play. I didn't anticipate, the O-line struggles mid-year. I didn't anticipate the Satterfield stuff, right? So the mid-year gap or the downtrend in play that he had, the 3 or 4 games where he throws 7 picks and, completion percentage of like, 45% or whatever it was, that's kind of where I would say you need to clean up. I don't know percentage-wise, like how much of that was him mixed with Satterfield, mixed with receiver, mixed with O-line, mixed with lack of run game. But I know this for sure. There needs to be a crazy jump from freshman to sophomore year, because it's like what coaches usually say, like after your freshman year, you're no longer a freshman. After 5 games, you're no longer fresh. Like now you're a sophomore, you're a vet. You're a vet. You're a leader on this team. What's your opinion on, like where Raiola's game, like where does it need to go to Nebraska for them to have a successful year next year? Of course, we don't know. This is way too early, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and it's going to be very interesting to see in the bowl game, because as we charted out earlier, the offense is going to have to step up likely, because it's not going to be the same routine that they can kind of bring in and rely on that defense. The defense is going to be questionable going into that game. So hopefully they can make a jump and take a small strides forward in this bowl game to let us know what next year is going to look like. I looked at a lot of Dylan Raiola this year, and at times thought, because he's not a mobile guy, you're going to need, you're going to need help around him. And I think at times they had that, at times they didn't. Obviously, a lot of that with kind of the downfield blocking, even to spring big plays, wasn't really there. Just man-to-man coverage, if they were pressed, at times they couldn't get off it. And that's going to be pretty problematic in a passing game. So some of it I think was Dylan's fault as far as regressing or the numbers looking that way, and some of it maybe not necessarily the case. But that's why you're so excited about Dana Holgorsen.
Yeah,
this guy has been tested time and time again as an offensive coordinator, and even had a lot of successful teams on offense, as a head coach. And so I trust him to be able to put them in that position. And Emmett Johnson's return is absolutely huge, because he's the one guy that could break some tackles, that could, seemingly get some big plays out of plays that weren't necessarily, schemed that way or blocked out that way. And so, that's a lot of it's what he's going to need is just yard after catch. And that's what, I was asked earlier on the captain, like, who are Nebraska's best yard after catch guys? And it's easy to say, like, well, Barney because he's fast and Lloyd because they're fast, but I don't know if I necessarily would define them as yard after catch guys. I would define them as fast guys, right? So I mean, you can, some of Jalen Lloyd's best plays, he never was touched. Right. Barney, they tried to get a lot of yard after catch. He averaged like 8 yards a catch this year because they would dump everything off the line at him, and because of that blocking problem and just in general, he had a hard time getting a whole lot after the catch too. So I think part of it's going to be an upgrade that we're going to have to see in the transfer portal this offseason. Part of it's the upgrade that you have at offensive coordinator. But to your point too, generally you make your biggest jump from freshman to sophomore year. So a lot of it's going to be Dylan himself making strides.
Yeah, I think one thing that's just going to be key for him, and I think the strength staff is going to work with him, is just mobility and just acceleration and speed and stuff like that, because your body development, we talk about all the small tissue muscles, your hip flexors, adductors, abductors, like all these different things, glute activation, all these different things. Like, you don't really come into your body at 18, 19 years old, right? That jump, I think my biggest jump was from freshman to sophomore year, like physically. Like, I really came into my body. All of a sudden, I was, understood nutrition a little bit better, started eating a little bit better, saw some more gains. And then you obviously go from sophomore to junior, and then you're kind of getting to that grown man weight, grown man strength. You start really pushing around some weight and stuff like that. But at the receiver position, and I think one thing that will help him, knowing, I think Holgorsen and everyone, keyed in on with the offense kind of will understand and knows that, okay, get him eluding and escaping the pocket isn't his game. Okay, so what can combat that? Like, how can we help him with that, since that's not his game? Well, we need to get receivers that can get open. You got a guy like in the portal right now, dude from Kentucky, the slot receiver. You talk about a guy who can get open. Like, you need those type of guys. We just talked off air. Man, any FCS receiver that has over 1,000 yards, I would bring them over for a visit, or I would talk to them and see where they're at. Like, or the American Conference, like those type of schools, the Memphis, the Middle Tennessees, the Buffaloes, right? The FBS schools, the Mountain West, like those type of guys that head in the portal that have established numbers in the receiving game. Like, I'm bringing those guys through. And of course, man, if you can get an Indiana guy, or you can get, someone transferring from a bigger school, a top 25 school, and you can throw some whatever at him. But I think with the air raid is different. The air raid is different because you need more bodies. You need to be able to throw guys in there. You need about, obviously you have an X, Z, and a slot, but I think you need like 3 or 4 guys that can really go get it. And if one goes, of course, you got Jalen Lloyd and Ja'Cory. I think those guys play the same position. When you look at offensively, I don't know if they really play. I don't know if those guys are traditional slot guys, to be honest with you. And I would hope that, Ja'Cory's game takes I think this is the key, man, is that Ja'Cory's game takes a jump, where you're not just a guy where you do jet sweeps. You're a guy that can run routes. You're a guy that we can go to on third down. You're a guy that, a nickel or safety comes to press you. You can get off of it and get open, right? And you can be a little bit more effective, put some weight on, like, you know what I'm saying? So there's some real jumps there, but I think going and getting some established receivers that, not guys that, haven't played, right? You need to get some guys who have played and put some real stuff on tape.
Yeah, and we talk about how getting some extra proven or threats at wide receiver could help Raiola, obviously, but could help Barty too. I mean, you can open up a lot, with a few more threats out there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's take a quick break. We actually still have Stars tickets. Nobody got the answer correct. Nebraska's single season record, 15 sacks. Who did it? Since we didn't get the answer correct yet.
I think I feel like I know who it is. I'm not going to say it, though.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and throw out the years in which they did it. Maybe that can help somebody. First one, again, to text in 402-464-5685. We'll get Stars tickets to Thursday night games. The year that the 15 sacks was recorded. First in 1985 by one guy, and then in 1993 by another.
Okay, come on. You got to know the 93 one.
Yeah. You should know that one. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more on the Locker Room. Stars tickets up for grabs in the middle of this commercial break, but we'll be right back.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the holiday sales event is now underway with unbelievably low interest rates and huge discounts on both our new and pre-owned inventory. Right now, we're offering 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. These are the absolute biggest discounts of the year. You heard right, 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. So please stop on in or check us out online at CoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit, must trade, and Costco.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
It's that magical time of year, but amidst the festivities, you should celebrate your health too. With all the delicious treats and holiday cheer, it's easy to let healthy habits slip. But just a few simple choices can help you enjoy the season without the stress of extra pounds. Make time for physical activity, eat in moderation, and focus on your well-being. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska to learn more. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Danielle. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, we are back in the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. A little bit of an update. We did give away the Stars tickets during the break. The top single-season sack performer for Nebraska is 15 sacks, is a tie right now between Jim Sco, who did it in 1985, and Trev Alberts, who did it in 1993. So congratulations. We got a new listener set up to go to the Stars on Thursday. Listen to the show in the remainder of the week. We got some more Stars tickets to give away, but it is time. We're going to do this every day of the week. It is time for Brew's book review here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, cultured Nebraskans. Sit back, relax, and listen to Chancellor Brewington give you his honest review of his latest reading. This is Brew's book review on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On Brew's book review, we got Psycho Cybernetics by Maxwell Martz. Fantastic. When I talk about fantastic book. The premise of the book is really fixing your self-image. And he has a quote that says, our self-image and our habits tend to go together. Change one and you will automatically change the other. So it talks about, Maxwell Martz, he did facial reconstruction surgeries, plastic surgeries. And he would work on a woman's nose and realize that her life would completely change. And he ended up coming to the conclusion that our self-image, we have an outer self-image and an inner self-image. And when we change the inner self-image, we can actually become more successful and things like that. And the book talks about our subconscious mind, the conditioning in there, and to become the person we want to become and all these things, we have to change how we feel about ourselves. And it talks about everyone has a self-image. Whether you think you do, right? And you have a way that you see yourself, and the way you see yourself affects the way you see other people and the way you see the world. And this book helps you kind of go through that. Also forgive yourself for some things, right? Of course, because we all have those things that we need to forgive ourselves for and move on to see ourselves the correct way. But this book is fantastic for everyone's just trying to get better in life. Psycho Cybernetics, Maxwell Martz. Go get it. I got mine on Amazon. That's why I get all my books. But yeah, fantastic book. I'll probably give it about an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, Bach. But to finish the show off, I want to talk a little bit more on this Frost situation. I said yesterday, obviously great pickup. Man, I want to see the band get back together, man. I want to see the band get back together. I saw, if you watched the video, you saw Coach Becton there. You saw Coach Becton, who was one of the first people to greet him. And obviously, I believe Coach Becton was already at UCF doing some stuff there, of course. But the band back together, I saw some things of, who he's already getting. But he said something interesting about culture and about how he would approach this new culture. And he talked about staying in the Florida area and making sure you get all these guys and keeping them there. And I think it kind of goes to the fact, man, of where college football, you can only hope. You can only hope a guy, once a guy does good, especially at a UCF, once a guy does good there, I mean, they're going to get money thrown at them from all places. So I best of luck there. I hope he can retain as many guys. But probably the last time I hit on it, he had an interesting presser. I thought he handled it very professional. I thought he, was well thought out and well calculated, man. But I hope the gang gets back together and UCF goes on a tear. I want them to go undefeated first year. But yeah, that's all I got for the locker room today. I hope Mike and Dan will get in the studio, man. But we got a game tonight. We got 2 games tonight, Bach. We got 2 games tonight. I gotta get my percentage up. I'm shooting 38 right now. I got it. Hey, you took my powers or something.
Yeah, you
man.
gotta catch up. Ever since you told me to shoot for 45%, I'm shooting close to 50%. I'm just waiting for my 0 for 10 to pop up. That usually does every year. So I'll shoot my team out of the game probably tonight. But best of luck in your game. But that'll wrap it up for the locker room on the block coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Lincoln.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving